Hi, and welcome to the BusinessWings podcast. My name's Christina Petrouis, and today I'm talking to Mike Petrouis, founder of Planet Ice. Mike explains how he got into the ice skating industry with no previous experience and how he grew the company through a series of acquisitions. He also talks about the difficulty in delegating authority and the importance of trusting your management team. How did you get into the ice skating industry?
By accident, there was a property in Birmingham which was empty. We were looking to dispose of it as a property, but unfortunately it was during the last downturn and we didn't have anybody interested in purchasing it as a property. So me and a co-founder decided the best way was to open it, operate it and sell it as a going concern. We then took a liking to the industry and decided maybe it's something we actually wanted to grow ourselves, and that was back in September 96.
And did you find it difficult going into a sector where you didn't have any previous experience?
I personally found it difficult, but because the ice rink is one of only 42 in the UK, it's a very loyal ex-employee as well as visitor numbers. And when we advertised the fact that we were actually going to reopen the ice rink, we got a lot of ex-employees and experts come out the woodwork. They were a great help from day one. We had people that had been in the industry for 20 years plus advising us at the way forward. And in the meantime, we bought our own ideas, which was to make the ice and get people back through the door, make it more attractive, more trendy, whilst using their expertise from previous years.
And how did you finance a startup?
That was basically my co-founder, who was more senior than me and more successful than me. He was in a position where he could finance it. I had the energy and the age to get out there and make it happen. So collectively, made good relationships. He was my funder.
And how did you grow the company?
There's only 42 ice facilities in the UK. We now own 14 of them. So I think the critical mass, once we got to 3, we were almost 10% of the industry. I know it's a very small number. But once that happened, then you start finding people actually call you, local authorities, private entrepreneurs, people that may want to retire, contacted us. So most of our acquisitions have been businesses in operation. So we've inherited their management and we, in effect, have integrated them into our systems and habits whilst picking up good ideas from them as well. So we actually have purchased the rest. The other 2, we built them. So they had history. I think that's really what I'm getting at. So that made the acquisitions and growth a lot easier.
And in terms of challenges, what has been your biggest challenge running the businesses and how did you overcome it?
I think my biggest challenge was transferring from trying to run the business hands-on to finally accepting that the time had come to standing back a bit and letting the management get on with it. I think that was the single biggest learning curve, was actually you've got to let people get on with it. And if you make mistakes, you make mistakes, but shoot from the hip, go for it. Make decisions. Don't try and straitjacket them or make them into your little clones. Let them get on with it and stand back and hopefully be able to say, right, well, I tried that 10 years ago and it didn't work then and I don't think it'll work now, but if you want to do it now, fine, let's do it. And actually let them have a go, let them grow. And I think that was the single biggest thing, but over the last 4 or 5 years, I've got a lot better at that, I think.
What advice would you give to anyone thinking of starting a business?
I think there's a time and place for everything. I think when you're young, it's time to be young. You can learn from other people. So really, you've got to identify a business or a place of work that is actually going to educate you and not really just be where you go and clock in and clock out. Just go and work for someone else, learn and then enjoy, and around about 22, 23, maybe branch out then.